Traditionally, we're very familiar with a row column type grid guide, and that was a great way of organizing dozens or even hundreds of channels. As we move to content libraries that are tens of thousands of pieces of content or even hundreds of thousands of pieces of content deep, other paradigms sort of start to present themselves that are equally or perhaps more compelling. Things like search or faceted search. That's a feature that we're experimenting with here, combining a VOD library with the linear content and allowing us to search that based on keyword or metadata. And the results that you get will be broken out based on different categories of content. So TV episodes, movies, maybe you're searching on an actor or contributor metadata, and you know what you're looking for there, but the results will be organized in a way that's more intuitive.
Sort of like when you search something on Flickr, and they'll say, these, if I searched mermaid on Flickr, it might say, well, did you mean the Mermaid Parade, which is
exactly
something that happens every year in Coney Island, or did you mean fantasy images of mermaids, and there's fan-created art, and it's up to you to provide that sort of last mile of intelligence?
Exactly.
Okay.
Another potential model here would be diving deeply into the interactive nature of these IP-connected devices, versus the sort of one-way broadcast model here, and enabling more personalized experiences. So that could be something as simple as a favorites list or content that you've tagged for your personal library in the cloud. It could also be your social network. So you have a list of friends that you're interested in their video watching habits. They can share things with you. They can tag things. You can see those as social events that get broadcast and published back to you. Adding that kind of capability to a device like this is very simple, very straightforward.
I think there's a lot of other nuances. So we've been talking about the iPad and the iPhone. But there's lots of work going on several fronts with multiple kinds of devices. So Ethernet-connected television sets, we're working on those. We're working on different game machines. We're working on interfaces for different PCs, whether it be for the Mac or... another thing is that now that we've written this for the iPad, it'll work on the iPhone or the iPod or on the Mac. It just kind of happens, and it's a relatively short haul to make it work on a PC or make it work on a Sony PlayStation or those other devices. So the ability to actually innovate on these third-party devices is actually much more robust than what we can do with our legacy infrastructure. Our legacy infrastructure is pretty bound up, and it's not, I shouldn't say bound up, it's burdened by all the other infrastructure that's behind it. This device, what's interesting about what Jason just showed us is that, in order for you to be able to find the guide here, and to be able to bring that guide up, this device has to be aware of the set-top box.
Right.
It has to actually find that set-top box. Further, to be able to tune the channel from this device, it has to send information over the network and send that channel to the set-top box, be able to set a recording. So it leverages not only just this device, but a number of other technologies that are currently coming to bear. That really accommodate home networking and accommodate the ability for devices to discover each other very easily. A lot of these protocols a lot of these devices that we're looking at now support DLNA. This one doesn't in particular because it's an Apple device. They use a different protocol, but most other devices support DLNA. Just because the Apple iPod doesn't or the iPad doesn't mean that we can't connect it up. We can. They just support a different protocol. So the idea that these things can be easily connected and that customers can now combine their viewing experience and their browsing experience and their desire for entertainment and information, combine them with any of the other devices in their home, is something that it's not something that we invented, but it's something that's now happening, and we're now enabled to do it. So you're going to start seeing more and more really interesting applications like that. Another interesting thing about something like this is that we can actually do a development like this, and we can spend not a whole lot of time doing it and then put it out for customers to use. And it's a different experience than what you rely on your television to do. So customers will try to use something like this, and then we'll get feedback and we'll enhance it and we'll make it better. And the cycle time, and Jason mentioned this, the cycle time to actually innovate on platforms like this in combination with the other things that we do, like your telephone service or your multi-channel video service, is really greatly enhanced. So our ability to put this in front of customers, get their feedback, enhance it and make it better, we're really, I think, on the cusp of something that's pretty important.